Well, we assume that people who believe conspiracy theories are normally not very smart, but in all reality, conspiracy theories are a lot like a cult or a religion. They make an emotional appeal and they provide an answer for a question that a lot of us are wondering ourselves.
This has been an honor seminar, Philosophy 199H, called Good Thinking. We've been looking all semester long at what some of the ingredients of good thinking are, and in contrast, what constitutes bad thinking, whether it's in the form of cognitive biases, like I only want to listen to things that I agree with, or informal fallacies, like I can attack a person and that's as good as attacking an argument. And at the end of the class, we looked at something that wraps up all kinds of bad thinking, which is the tendency in our country and around the world, frankly, for people to believe in conspiracy theories. So what we have engaged in is a project of unmasking a whole host of conspiracy theories that people seem to buy in, despite the fact that there's a whole lot of bad thinking involved.
We had played this game in class where it had a bunch of conspiracy theories.
We just played with a team, so it was, I think, me and Carter versus Davo and some other people, and just my competitive side wanting to win, plus getting to learn some new fun stuff.
And then we kind of did a spin-off of that, and we took some of the conspiracies from that game to put them on the wall. And we also added conspiracies that are more updated to now that many people would know as well.
In doing this project, I learned a heck of a lot about conspiracy theories that I had no idea were at large in the world. I mean, I knew about some of the bigger ones like QAnon and an anti-vax movement. I had not really been aware of Taylor Swift or Kate Middleton as the subject of contemporary conspiracy theories.
The two ones that I looked into was Taylor Swift and then Kate Middleton. So Taylor Swift, there was a bunch of things she's an author for a cat book or random things she's trying to take over the NFL, and then Kate Middleton was that she was dead or that it was an AI generated video and photos of her family.
We also talked about the frequent fallacies in conspiracy theories, ones like ad hominem, so attacking the person you're arguing with rather than their actual argument. Hasty generalization, which is kind of overgeneralizing something to come to a specific conclusion. Then there's false cause, so making correlation or mistaking correlation for causation. So just because two things are happening at the same time doesn't mean that one's causing the other or vice versa.
Yeah, it's hard to answer the question about which conspiracy theory is the most alarming without getting into contentious political issues. And we tried very hard as a class not to target any one political group. Turns out that research shows that people on the left are just as likely to buy into conspiracies as people on the right. But I still have to admit that I find it perplexing and bizarre that there should be theories that there are groups of politicians that are involved in pedophilia and wanting to harvest the blood of children to drink it in order to get adrenochrome so that they might live forever. That just, for me, defies all logic.
I enjoyed hearing about how some people may think that Helen Keller was or was not real.
That theory is not real. Yes.
I wasn't going to say it was fake.
She will go on a rampage about this.
I know.
Helen Keller's not real. No, Helen Keller is not real.
She firmly.
Okay.
No, she was probably a real person, but she did not have the extent of the disabilities that she claims she did.
Yeah, so there was this guy that kind of went around the United States kind of advertising that birds weren't real, and he kind of got everyone on this bandwagon of protesting in front of the Capitol and in front of major organizations and stuff. But in reality, it was all a ruse, kind of stating that it's more what people believe and how they'll believe it, and kind of if you have some truth to your argument, will people believe it or not? It's how we market it and how we change our thinking to better prevent ourselves from believing false information. So my favorite arguments are, have you ever seen a baby pigeon? And they're mostly in widely populated cities. They stay on power lines to charge themselves. They report back to the government, and a lot of people, there's a new one that a lot of people are coming up with that during COVID they had to replace the batteries or like update the birds. So yeah, there's a lot of fun conspiracies that don't make a lot of sense, but they use some reasonable arguments that people start to run with.
Basically, we've all seen white squirrels around here in Brevard. It's a big thing on our campus, and the white squirrel conspiracy states that these white squirrels they're microchips implanted in them, and they're here to basically spy on the student population, and that they're reporting back to the government with information about, it could be like cultural differences, religious differences, or anything about the student population.
Bringle didn't think we'd all know what tinfoil hats are and how they correlated to like the whole like aliens and like you're gonna get abducted and everything. But we decided to use tinfoil hats as just like, cause it's like the staple for conspiracies, and it actually came out that the tinfoil hats didn't stop the radio waves, they actually amplified them. So all this time people were just letting more radio waves inside their head.
I hope the students take away from this project an understanding of how our thinking is not innocent. We tend to think everybody's entitled to that person's own opinion, but sometimes opinions can work harm in the world, and so we really need to be more vigilant about our thoughts and be careful that we're basing our thoughts on good evidence and good reasoning and not just the things that we happen to like to believe.